welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and I am joined by Mr. Robert Thomas Morphy II.
Here I am.
What's going on, buddy?
Just fucking hanging out with my other buddy and just excited to do it. That other buddy is Mark Storrs. See, no one ever introduces you.
Oh.
And I felt a little bad.
We unfortunately, this week, our special guest, Christopher Carnicelli, will not be with us.
The ultimate special guest who has been here 98% of the time, who is only the controlling partner and the one that keeps us going.
Well, one day I can be the special guest. You make special guest Mark Storrs?
Oh, my God. Hey, why not now?
All right, can I be special guest?
And special guest, Mark Storrs.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so cool to be on the other end of that.
I'm just
so
glad
dope
to have you here, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy to be here. Unfortunately, Christopher is under the weather.
We miss
but
Chris, yes.
I saw him today.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw him. He's good, but I went to I got the SD card from him. He had a pallet I had to throw away for him. I threw away a big wooden pallet. Everything's dope, so he's good. Yeah.
Oh, what does he buy? Oh, the mystery.
I know. Well, that's every time. Yeah, he's like, I got a pallet.
Who the fuck gets a pallet? What are you getting delivered,
I mean,
dude?
when you get equipment and stuff, it comes in a pallet.
Oh,
so,
that makes sense. Yeah.
So no,
and
Chris,
he is a rock star.
He is. But we are going to be we are enacting the Thunderdome protocols as per usual when this sort of thing happens. So
Tina Turner hair aside.
Yes, I can be Blaster and you can be the master, right?
Sure, why not?
How does it work?
Yeah, get on my shoulders,
Okay,
buddy.
cool.
I'm here to heft.
No, you
I'm
know
here
what?
To big weight.
You're on mine, buddy. You're getting on mine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And when I saw Mark laying dead on the beach in a bloody clump, it was because I was on his shoulders.
When Mel Gibson shoots me with an arrow, okay?
Oh, boys.
You got to look in my dead, dying eyes. You whisper, hellerspace.com.
That's it.
Get yourself some T-shirts. There you go. That's
plugging till the end.
That's what you got to do. Or you better yet, whisper cryptonautpodcast.com. I'm sorry, patreon.com/cryptonautpodcast. We got some shout outs, Robert.
Oh, fuck yes, we do.
Let's do them.
As always, thank you, motherfuckers, so very much.
Yes.
Beginning with Mike Colgrove.
Hell yeah, Mike. Thank you so much.
Mr. Smaga.
Yes. Returning, I believe. Thank you.
Nice. Ben Francis.
What up, Ben?
William Thurman.
Hell yeah, William.
Damon Beatty.
Yeah, Damon.
Curran.
Dope. Curran. Simple.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
probably a last name, maybe not. Maybe a code. Who knows? Dartbot Billy.
Oh,
one word.
Oh, that's a cartoon. Sounds cool.
It does.
Dope.
Nikki Schutz.
Yeah.
2 T's.
I like it.
All right, so you are definitely big-haired and fronting for a fucking a glam metal band circa
sure.
87.
Definitely.
Oh, Nikki Schutz. God bless. Josh Ferratu.
That's awesome. I saw that.
Yes.
Was like, yeah, that's so dope.
Dorbs. Ross Skur.
Yeah, what up, Ross?
Oh, you scallywag. Indrid. Maybe cold.
Happening.
Maybe lukewarm.
I like it.
What if he's a can? What if he's real? What if he's from Lanulos? What if he's listening to us right now?
You say, what if what if they are a can?
What if they are a can? I'm sorry, you're right. My bad. Pronoun trip.
You got to go back to Hellier, don't you? Every time with the can.
Well, there's
okay.
a coffee can in the cave, and we don't know what it is anymore.
I would not kick it.
All options were now on the fucking table.
That's
the
right.
moment I saw that, I'm like, well, fuck.
Hey, there you go. Season 2, check it out.
Will Clay.
Thank you, Will.
Emmy Griffin.
Hell yeah, Emmy Griffin. Thank you all so very much for your continued monthly support. Holy shit, we just had the movie night.
We did.
I mean, time-wise, that doesn't work out. But
it's a little delayed.
It's timey-wimey.
Right.
But yeah, no, we had our Friday the 13th movie night. It was super dope. Everybody voted for part 1.
Yes.
And we got to watch it, and then you and I realized just how much of a trudge.
Oh, boy.
It is like hard.
It is slogging through deep mud.
It is, but
knees deep.
It definitely pays off. It is super fun, and it's a classic. It's a classic horror movie.
It's pivotal in that it is just as nothing's more influential in the slasher genre than, of course, Halloween.
Right.
But it is nearly as influential because after that, you didn't get a ton of babysitter kill movies, but
No.
you got a billion sleepaway camp style fucking summer camp massacres, The Burning, the Forest, on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see where, it was the progenitor of a lot of things. The Tom Savini effects, when applied, not often enough, not as often as I recalled, were excellent. And in the end, it was a good time watching a movie with good people and having a solid laugh.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget the scene there where Kevin Bacon's dong rescues a person from the fucking water.
Dick Kayak.
It was Dick Kayak.
Dude, it's amazing.
Somebody in the chat, I don't know if it was Hackety or someone wrote Dick Kayak. I fucking died.
That man's cock can do no wrong.
I mean, it's technically going to get us to space again, I think.
Oh, yeah.
When we go back to the moon.
No, it's going to win the second space race.
It's already
100%. That's how we do it.
It's going to beat Elon Musk to Mars.
Oh, America. And it's going to dance in Indiana.
That's right, goddammit, for freedom. This week, Robert, the Crosswick Monster. I have not had a chance to read this, but I got a feeling this is going to be cryptozoological.
You are absolutely accurate.
I read the context clues.
Now, context clues. Now, of course, it might not be, and we're going to entertain all options when we break it down. But I think as a rough guess right out the gate, you're pretty much on the money, buddy.
Christopher, when he listens to this to edit, is going to be so happy about me making this guess. His eyes are not going to roll. He's not going to go. He's not going to murmur under his breath, motherfucker. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do it. Without further ado, in the 1880s, a pair of young brothers were fishing on a secluded Ohio stream when they were attacked by a massive undulating monstrosity that seemed hell-bent on killing, storing, and devouring its human prey.
That's the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Winter is always coming somewhere, even though this happens in May. But whatever. You have to throw the carcasses in places you will have access to them when the hunger hits.
Gator protocol, dude.
Gator protocol.
There you go. That's what you got to do.
Probably raccoon, too.
We got a lot of emails about raccoons and possums. That's on a Patreon. Check it out. Robert, without further ado, good sir, let's go.
And I also, with one further ado, which is Adam Benedict, fucking the Pine Barrens Institute.
Oh, yeah, our good buddy
did
Adam.
A great breakdown of this that was super helpful. So I wanted to give him a shout. Also, by Monsters in Print and Ghosts in Print, 2 excellent books capturing articles from the past.
For sure.
It's part of how this story and others like it, came to light in the 21st century.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, Adam.
This curious and undeniably unnerving case comes to us from one of the most notoriously cryptid-rich regions of the United States, southwestern Ohio. Located just 24 miles north of the now legendary Loveland.
Oh.
We've been there a few times, my friend.
3 or 4 times.
4, exactly, I think. Crosswick, Ohio is an unincorporated community on the edge of central Wayne Township in Warren County. And like its sister city, it was known to harbor an anomalous and ostensibly amphibious animalistic oddity. But unlike Loveland's diminutive and usually non-threatening frogmen, the creature that would come to be known as the Crosswick Monster was an immense, bellicose beast with an emphatically nasty disposition.
Oh, this thing sounds like an asshole already.
Oh, he's a meanie.
All right.
He's an 80s bully douche. He's got a full mullet, a Hobie shirt. He's a cock.
He's got Trans Am. He takes your girl.
Yeah, he's got his dad's Trans Am. And you didn't even have a chance with the girl, but he took her anyway.
Fucker.
According to reports published in the Cincinnati Enquirer on March 29th, 1882, way back in time.
Yep.
The residents of the village of Crosswick, which in 1882 had just a single unpaved street running through its center, had taken note of strange tracks of quote-unquote unusual size that they would find from time to time embedded in the dirt road. So back and forth, they'd find these fucking tracks going in their city.
It's Jesus. He's come back.
Even the most prolific hunters could make neither head nor tails of the weird foot-long imprints, and locals began to remain inside after dark for fear of bumping into whatever creature was capable of making such odd and uncannily large tracks. It turns out that the instincts of Crosswick's more timid citizenry were spot on, and what was lurking in the darkness was the stuff of nightmares.
Oh, they were right.
They were right. The fear that was already gripping this isolated community would increase exponentially when sometime on a morning in late May of that year, a pair of brothers, Joe and Edward Lynch, who were 11 and 13 respectively, claimed to have had a terrifying run-in with what seemed to be a diabolical denizen of hell itself. The brothers were fishing a creek known as Scatterthwaite's Run. What a great name.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to go fly fishing down at Scatterthwaite's Run? That's awesome. Which ran through the south side of Crosswick when they had a terrifying run-in with what could only be termed a monster. According to an article printed in the Western Star, the boys were on the bank of the creek, poles in hand, when they suddenly heard, quote, quite a stir among some old reeds, grass, and brush behind them, end quote. Startled, the brothers shot to their feet, but whatever horrible thing they imagined was approaching through the foliage could not possibly be as terrifying as what actually emerged. According to published accounts, the creature that burst out of the bramble was between 30 and 40 feet in length.
Really?
Not fucking around all of a sudden.
Dude.
Like everyone's expecting, all right, you're going to get my standard 10 to 14 foot monster doing his thing. It's what happens.
It's the size of a tractor trailer.
No, but it gets weirder than this.
Right.
It's fucked up. Okay. So I'm tripping on a hole in a paper heart here. The size is big. And at first glance resembled a massive snake with a 16-inch wide head and a black and white pattern epidermis that was dotted with dull yellow patches.
Yeah, a big old snake.
So zebra stripes, I'm assuming.
Right, cool.
It doesn't say stripes, but that's what I'm seeing.
Right.
With like little dull patches of yellow smattered around everywhere.
Like a pair of Zubas that went bad.
Oh, went bad.
Yeah.
Went mold.
All right.
Left in the wet laundry for too long.
Oh, no, moldy Zubas attack.
Oh, boy. But upon closer inspection, the colossal critter would prove to be an altogether stranger beast. Although it flicked its black tongue in a decidedly reptilian fashion, and its body was long and incredibly thin. The thing's scaly, almost armor-plated skin was covered in a viscous sheen of slime that reminded the young anglers of a salamander. And it was about to get even weirder. As the stunned boys backed away, the creature reared back, opening its toothy, blood-red maw. Having seen enough, the brothers dropped their gear and began hightailing it back to their house, but their hellish ordeal was far from over. Despite their youthful speed, the sinister serpent took chase, slithering through the woods just behind them.
Oh, it's on the chase now.
It's on the chase. It's hot pursuit.
We're chasing, boys.
30,
We're
40
chasing.
feet.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. It was then that their already harrowing experience took a nosedive toward the bizarre. When, without warning, the undulating entity reared back yet again, this time revealing two long arms or forelegs that shot forward, snagging Ed in its insidious embrace.
It's a fucking it's a giant salamander from hell.
Snake-amander with fucking and I just see this. I mean, it's not thoroughly described, but I see this bony little almost like quadruple length T-Rex arms, but like more bony, like a deer's forelegs, just sticking out with claws at the end, going
so gross,
just popping out like that.
So gross.
I know it's so grubby, but you have to think of it as grubby because it makes it scarier. All right, insidious embrace. Joe stood dumbfounded as the slippery fiend stretched backwards, quote, producing two more legs about 4 feet long from some mysterious hiding place in its body, end quote. So there's little flesh pockets, and it's just hanging out, and and they peel back, and all of a sudden these like alien type arms, legs, whatever, stick out, and so now it's a quadruped apparently.
I was gonna say now it can just run on all fours.
Now it can do whatever the fuck it wants.
It's
clearly there are no limits.
No,
for this fucking thing.
This thing is limitless now. Hopefully it doesn't have thumbs.
Oh,
Jesus!
I think it does.
Oh God!
All right, so it produced these extra feet legs before twisting around and barreling back through the forest, using its long tail to help propel its newly exposed legs and feet.
It's got a kangaroo mechanism.
Yeah.
On it. Oh, cool.
But it's so fucking long, so it's like impossibly thin. I don't know like how much space in its torso is between its upper limbs and its lower secret limbs, pop out limbs. But it does use its tail kangaroo like, definitely. And it's pushing itself forward. So I can almost see it like slipping back and forth. So its body is running, but it has to run, I guess, in a sinewy sort of side to side motion to accommodate the way the tail is pushing it forward.
And it's so long. It's so awkward. It seems like not a good way to be moving yourself.
No.
It seems way more complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. So it's got Ed. Poor fucking Ed.
Poor Ed.
In its grip.
All right.
Okay. Ed shrieked in horror as the now bipedal beast sunk its teeth into his shoulder, or trapezoid, I don't know, the general shoulder area.
Right.
What a fucking nightmare. And dragged him over the rocky terrain toward a huge, hollowed-out sycamore tree that was later measured to be about 26 feet in diameter, which the carnivorous creature was evidently using as a den.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, a big old hollowed-out... As a kid, I would have wanted to play in something like that.
Yeah, totally.
But I also would have been afraid that exactly this kind of fuck-all would be hiding in there.
Coming out at you.
And in Ohio... That's the case. It's always the case in Ohio. That's the deal with Ohio.
Totally.
It's fucking freaky. Screaming for help, Joe took pursuit, but could only watch in horror as this Darwinian demon disappeared inside the dark hollow and attempted to pull his limp and bloody big brother in behind it. Joe couldn't be sure why the creature was having so much difficulty, or even if Ed was unconscious or dead. He just knew that this was the worst moment of his life. But, though it must have seemed so at the time, luck had not entirely abandoned the brothers Lynch. At precisely the same moment as the scaly behemoth was struggling to yank the inert boy into the tree, not far away, on a ridge just above the creek, 3 men, Reverend Jacob Horn, George Peterson, and Alan Jordan, all well-known and respected members of the community, were quarrying stone when the brothers' cries pierced the silent wood. According to the Western Star, quote, hearing their screams and seeing the creature yanking one off, the men hurried in an attempt to rescue the child. They reached the tree just as the snake, who was failing in its first attempt to drag the boy into its den, became alarmed, probably by the cries of its pursuers, unfastened its horrible fangs, and dropped the more than half-dead child to the earth. End quote. I mean, and this poor kid, all right, so he's shocked. He's 13.
Well, yeah.
He gets snagged up by these baby T-Rex deer leg arms, as I imagine them, dragged across bumpy rocks, through a fucking creek, up a hill, some 300 fucking feet away.
And then you're brought to a tree for a buffet.
And it's trying to drag you in, and I don't know, maybe your spine's caught on a root. I don't fucking know, but it hurts, and it's and you're unconscious and bleeding, and of course you've just been bitten by a multi-fanged fucking monster.
Thankfully, these dudes were nearby quarrying, I guess. They were here digging rocks.
Rev Horn
there
could
you go,
not
dude.
have been, I mean, clearly the Lord was working overtime that day.
Dude, punching in that OT, buddy.
Yeah.
Gotta get that time and a half.
Yeah, I'm hitting rocks, but I'm also stopping monsters.
I'm about to put my axe through this thing's head. Sorry, my pick through its head.
Oh, the malicious semi-serpentine monster, which the adult eyewitnesses also claimed was reminiscent of a gigantic salamander. So again, just mixing all sorts of shit. Then retreated deeper into the shadowy crevasse of the sycamore. But the men, prioritizing the welfare of young Edward over the eradication of this enigmatic animal, wasted no time in carrying the boys back to the home of their father, John, at which point Dr. L.C. Lukens of Waynesville was summoned to attend to the savaged Ed, who mercifully managed to survive the attack. Later, Dr. Lukens would tell a reporter from the Cincinnati Enquirer that his patient was, quote, badly bruised and scratched, horribly frightened, and that he lay in convulsions and spasms until 3 o'clock in the morning when he fell asleep, but frequently wakened with fright and terror, end quote.
It's going to be a whole new level of scared right there.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, all right, so you're just fishing. It comes out. It pops out of the shrubs, and it looks like a giant super snake, unlike anything you'd ever find in that region. And you're like, what the fuck?
But then it takes you away.
But then it chases you.
Yeah.
And when you think, oh, my God, maybe I'm not going to get away. Maybe the snake's going to get me. It rears up, and arms pop out, and then hidden legs pop out, and it bites you in your fucking shoulder, and then just rips you and tries to pull you into a fucking nasty hollow of a tree.
Yeah, not good, dude.
No, I mean, spasms and fucking whatever.
That's the least.
That's what's going to happen.
Jesus.
And it's important to note, too, I'll mention this later, Dr. Lukens, other people involved, Reverend Horn, were really respected members of the community. Like, people have done research on this, not me, so I'm just taking other people at their word, but let's just assume.
Yeah.
That, like reporters I read doing research on this, were like, no, these people, were established members of the church, an established doctor, a judge is going to feature in this later. And all of these people were like not the kind of people that were known for tomfoolery.
Right.
So when you think it's like silly season for reporting, as a lot of the 19th century was, there's, as fantastical as this case is, certain elements that really indicate that the people involved were not fucking around.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Nice.
Following the boys' daylight fracas with this frightening fiend, the men of Crosswick knew that the creature's next victim might not be so lucky, and that something had to be done about this pernicious predator.
We're going, is this a posse?
Something. It's a posse.
Tell me.
Fuck.
Tell me we're going monster hunting, Uncle Rob. Tell me we're going to hunt this thing down, kill it, its family, its children, its entire lineage. We're going to kill this fucker.
I wrote this just for you.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is what's going to happen.
All right.
To that end, Reverend Horn, Peterson, and Jordan collected a posse of nearly 60 men.
Oh, this is a super monster hunt.
10 more than 50.
Wow, we're going to be drinking so many beers and shooting so many things we can't see.
60 men armed with axes, hatchets, hammers, and clubs. That's a beaten posse.
We're going melee with this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's a straight beat-down posse. That's like
great.
That's like the Indonesian raid films.
Dude.
You're going to get fucking wholesale beat down.
This is fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's troublesome. And accompanied by well-trained hunting dogs.
Oh, stick the dogs on them and just beat it to death with a bat.
Who marched back to the creek with one purpose in mind. Destroying the marauding monster.
You have to, dude. The safety of the babies.
Well, the babies in jeopardy.
Think about the babies.
Ed. Think of Ed.
Yeah, exactly.
Ed, all Ed wanted to do was catch some fucking fish.
Think about
bring
all
it
the
home,
future
eat 'em.
babies. All the babies of the future.
All the babies are in jeopardy.
Exactly.
You can't let babies be in jeopardy.
No.
I'm not a wholesale killmonger. I'm not saying you are, but I'm not saying you're not. But there are some cases where it's like, oh, yeah, no, kill the baby killer.
You got to.
You got to kill it.
Dude, because this thing's going to eat all your kids.
Do I want it in a zoo? Yeah.
Nah.
Ish.
You know?
But do I want it stuffed in the Smithsonian?
Make a dope,
Yeah.
make a dope piece of taxidermy, and you can make a fucking sweet jacket out of this thing.
You can't eat the babies.
Yeah, make a jacket out of it.
Got to make a jacket.
A couple belts, pair
Oh my God,
of shoes.
dude, how many jackets could you make out of
A
40
lot.
feet of fucking
A ton.
Crosswick Monster?
Dude, you can have a full fucking outfit.
And like 3 pairs of boots and a belt
and then,
and a jock strap.
Someone's definitely going to be pissed at you about this, for sure.
Listen, I don't wear animal skin. Jesus fucking Christ, ever.
It's a safe bet that none of us do.
I
worry.
wouldn't even wear a leather jacket. I fucking threw away my last one years ago.
You know you have a leather trench coat.
I really don't. But no,
you have a leather trench coat like you're in the
I
Matrix.
used to have a sweet, like, green mid-70s full-on pimp mode leather jacket that was soft. So soft. You know that it came off a veal. It was baby leather.
Dude, you have like a leather duster in like your Junkos.
But then I was just like, I can't wear the dead. I can eat them. I'm not over that part of my life yet, but I can't wear the dead.
We're all getting there eventually. Don't worry.
Hey. We all got a little Ed Gein.
I mean, a little bit of the old Etsy in us.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. So the dead aside.
Nice.
We're here. We got our posse. They've got all their shit.
We're doing it.
The men of Crosswick marched into the woods, their dogs snarling at the gaping black space within the hollowed tree, evidently smelling something that their masters couldn't see. The men wasted no time in hacking into the tree, chipping away at the opening, trying to dislodge the beast within. With the dogs growling and wood chips flying, it's likely that the tension among the men rose as every chop brought them closer to their confrontation with the inevitable. All eyes were riveted on that deep, dark, ominous recess, looking for even a flicker of movement, when, in vintage fright flick fashion, the creature opted for a jump scare by leaping out of a hole near the top of the tree and landing next to the startled men who dove for cover.
Oh, man, this thing went up top.
So you keep hacking, you keep looking. Like, you can see the camera,
dude.
like the filmmakers, like the shooting close-ups of the guys' faces, the axes hitting the axes, I don't know, plural, hitting the wood and the deep dark hole, and it keeps shooting, and all of a sudden, boom, off the top.
Yeah.
Like Freddy at the fucking, the pool party in part 2. Fucking coming out with a vengeance.
Oh, man, this son of a bitch.
In a flash, the slimy, spectacled beast rose up onto its hind legs and, according to the Western Star, quote, threw out its fore and hind legs, erected itself about 12 or 14 feet, and with the velocity of a racehorse, crossed the creek and ran up a small hill, climbed over a rail fence, breaking it down, and continuing north a mile, followed by pursuers until it reached a hole in a large hill under a heavy ledge of rocks.
Dude, this thing turns into a track star.
It really does. It's Usain bolting its way through the forest. It's like, fuck you guys.
Imagine everyone is chasing this thing and they're just like, get back here, you piece of shit.
And you know it's got the most awkward gait ever.
Oh, it has
like
to.
It's
Totally.
the way it's like little ejectoid feet are pedaling on the ground and its snake-like tail pushing it forward. It's just got to be like, what the fuck? Like, it's dodging trees, doing all sorts of Evil Dead camera work bullshit.
At this point, you got to take your melee weapons and start throwing it at it, just hoping you can hit it. And then, oh man, this thing just jets, breaks the fence, like, fuck you, keeps going.
Absolutely.
Nice.
The paper continued stating, some of the men and dogs were so terrified at the beast's first appearance that they only thought of getting out of the way. But the braver portion followed until the frightful thing made good its retreat underneath the ground.
It went back to whence it came.
Yep, the hole beneath the ledge.
Oh, shit.
According to Adam Benedict's August 19th, 2018 article, Cryptid Profile, the Crosswick Monster, on his invaluable Pine Barrens Institute, second plug, it's well worth it, quote, members of the group, along with their dogs, surrounded the entrance to the hole and waited for the creature to once again emerge. Believing this was the only way in and out of the hole, the men kept watch. But it appeared as if there was another unknown exit from the hole, as the creature never emerged and was never seen in the area again.
Nah, man, you almost got to get like Molotov action happening.
Yeah, you got to burn it.
You got to start
At this point, you got to burn it.
Yeah, you have to. You just got.
They should have burned the sycamore from word go.
Yeah, forest fires, though, could be a problem.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem I don't want to exacerbate.
You could contain it. I mean, depending on the season, if it's wet, if it's dry.
Yeah.
You know? But also, too.
May's dry, probably.
But hacking at it, though, I mean, there's a good chance
what are
you
you
could topple it down, you know?
Yeah, what were they planning on doing if it, like, came out the hole? Like,
smashing it.
Yeah, I guess. I think all posses have a grand plan, and so rarely does it come to fruition.
Dude,
like, innocent people usually get hurt. There's all sorts of melee, but rarely I think the sweet fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme dreams of those involved, even in 1882, rarely do they come to fruition.
You have to enact the hate breed protocol of smash your enemies.
Wow.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
It's fucked up. Okay. Some, in a desperate bid to present some kind of quote-unquote rational explanation as to the origin of the Crosswick Monster, have proposed that the creature in question was merely, according to Benedict, quote, an out-of-place monitor lizard. Possible candidates include the Australian Parenti, the Asian water monitor, or the Komodo dragon. He adds, although this specific one found in Crosswick would be far larger than those on record, as the monitors above are only known to grow to lengths of around 8 to 10 feet, and even those lengths are rare and inconsistent throughout the species, end quote. So he's right.
No,
he makes
totally.
a valid point.
Yeah.
Like, when you first see this thing, it's like, okay, well, 30 to 40 feet, that's just out there.
Could just be.
But assuming maybe it's kids and I guess maybe excited adults, even if they're all sincere, if you've never seen a Komodo dragon, and why would you if you live in rural Ohio in the late 1800s and you've not traveled the Pacific and gone to the Komodo Islands or anywhere in Indonesia, you would not know what the fuck this is.
No, and I mean, every time you or I or Chris or anybody, whenever we see something, well, okay, maybe not Chris because he's a logical one here, but whenever we see something, you know, like you see a possum or a raccoon, you're like, oh shit, the thing's like, you know, it's huge. I mean, I just saw a fox and I'm like, oh my god, it's the size of, you know, a dire wolf, and it clearly is just a little tiny guy. Like, he's just he's a little mini, just running around. So, you know, you got, like you were saying, you got to kind of take that into consideration that, you know, it may, even at 10 foot though, if you see something that's 10 feet, you're gonna be like, that thing's fucking enormous.
Massive.
Yeah.
But if you're assuming, and remember, the estimates on its length aren't just from an 11 and a 13-year-old boy,
right?
But from the esteemed Reverend Horn and Peterson and whoever the fuck else.
Right.
Even if you're guessing 30 to 40, you still could be
close
in the 15 to 25.
Yeah, which is still big.
And that's still bigger than any monitor that exists that we know of.
I saw 2 Great Danes, as a matter of fact, today. And I was like, good goddamn horses. Oh, never mind.
Horses. Baby horses. Yep.
Puppins.
Yep.
Just big old puppins.
Glutes.
Yeah, and they were just...
Marmaduking their fucking way around the neighborhood.
It's actually popping a manhole for a sewer to like inspect it. And I'm like, hey, buddy. And the thing's like, it's so tall. I'm just like, hey, friend, how are you?
Dear friend.
Please don't get near the sewer. I'd hate to have to go down there and get the fuck out of there because I can't climb down there. So, yeah, thank you. Good morning.
There it is.
Yeah.
Protect and serve.
Seriously.
The sewers. So, yeah, I get why I get why these prosaic
I get it.
explanations have been offered by especially skeptics who absolutely cannot bear to have anything undiscovered. And once it is, they instantly entomb it in academia and are like, well, of course, it was always obvious. Local folklore suggests it. We always support local folklore. This is part of the zoological record. Fuck off. But this other thing that is supported by, locals who say it's part of their fauna, I don't know what it is, so you're a clown if you believe in it.
But I mean, even a giant salamander, the pictures of those things are ridiculous.
And we got hellbenders in New York who are fucking awesome.
Hellbenders.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the rare, 3 foot long.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And they bend around rocks and things. That's why they call it. And they scare the fuck out of anglers.
Yeah, they're awful.
And of course, there was the notorious Northern Californian ones that were never fully confirmed to exist.
Yeah.
But were seen by naturalists. I wish I could remember. I don't have research in front of me. I wasn't even planning on talking about it. But anyone who's followed cryptozoology knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
Maybe we'll do something on that someday. Like fire something salamanders. I don't remember what. And of course, the big Japanese freshwater salamanders that are endangered, but epically fucking big. So
they look like an Ultraman villain.
Yeah, they really seriously. Do. No, 100% they do. So in Ohio, I don't know if they have hellbenders. I don't know what they have.
I mean,
but this is clearly not even the largest of salamanders because they, as far as I know, don't get much bigger than 3 feet, at least in the United States.
Yeah.
This is not a snake because it's got hideaway feet and little fucking dangle arms or long dangle arms.
That reminds me of our favorite thing to catch in here around this area, mud puppies.
Oh yeah,
where you take them out of the water and they're hissing, and then you put them on the land and they just pop their little arms and legs, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta deal with this thing."
But that is interesting to note, because it seems concealed.
They look like. And then until you get them out of the water, and then all of a sudden they're running away.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're quadrupeds who can chase you and bite your fucking Achilles fucking tendon, and you're done. You're done just as sure as if you're with a dead kid in Pet Cemetery. If you're the old man getting out of bed and you get your Achilles tendon sliced with a scalpel, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But imagine its teeth and a monster, but it's not. It's a mud puppy.
At Maze Point.
But it's terrifying.
Local reference, Maze Point. What up?
And I might confuse them for lake monsters, but maybe not.
Whatever, it happens.
That's not the point.
The
point is there are elements of this that are definitely salamander-like, mud puppy-like, snake-like, reptile-like, monitor lizard-like.
Yeah.
But none of them... First off, snakes aren't slimy. Lizards aren't slimy. So this is slimy. But amphibians aren't over 20 feet, much less 30 to 40 feet long.
Yeah, totally.
Though they do have hidden compartment limbs, sort of. But they're usually not super on-land predators, because even though it was next to a creek, it didn't run out of the creek. It ran from the shrubs and apparently lived in a fucking sycamore tree.
Yeah, which is weird. So it lives like a Keebler elf and kills kids?
Yes.
All right, cool. Just making sure we're on the same page here.
All right, let me just read this last paragraph quick, and then we'll do a further dive.
All right.
We are completely off the rails here. Whatever it was that used to creep through Crosswick in the dead of night and left one of its youngest residents clinging to life was never truly known. Despite its similarity to various known species, this melange of amphibian and reptile is utterly unique in the zoological record, and its presence in Ohio is even more confounding. What we do know is that for nearly 140 years, the residents of Crosswick have not encountered this creature again. And we can only hope it remains that way.
Oh,
and it is this month. At least the reporting was done in late May of 1882. So it's right around. We're this pod will probably come out on the anniversary, the 140th anniversary of this event.
Oh, I mean, is that
give or take? We don't know.
Planning?
No,
Okay.
No,
all right.
That's just me flying by the seat of my balls. I didn't know what was going to happen.
All right, well, shit, there you have it. All right, so I think skeptically, we kind of talked about some things that it possibly could be.
Sure. Because it's not An alien, it doesn't seem like.
No, I mean, it doesn't appear to. Now, okay, so let's cryptozoologically speaking here, let's go to Monsterland, all right, dude?
We almost have to.
All right, so we are located near the Ohio River Valley, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We know there's a ton of stuff down there. Just a whole, was it melange? Is that what you say?
No.
Melange?
Yeah, this is just like,
of creatures.
What I say, like 24 miles,
yeah,
mostly south, slightly west of Loveland.
So if we know that this area is, creeping
just chock
with
full.
all kinds of cryptids, and this thing did eventually, after it ran away and ran over a fence and did a pole vault and, won the medals for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing description.
Yeah.
That old-timey article description of it, like going through the rail fence and doing this and dodging trees and fucking
Just like
being
doing
awesome.
a pommel horse. It pulled an iron cross at the very end. It was like, fuck you, come get me. So this thing heads underground.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it disappears.
Yes.
I mean, speaking for the area, we've talked about this before. The creatures could be moving through the Ohio River Valley for whatever reason.
Surely.
Whether it's if it's like a migration, where they're coming from somewhere,
right.
and if this thing does feast in the flesh of the people,
it seems to.
What greater way than to come up, take a little swim in the old river, mange on some kids, a little ravioli, a little meatball, and then you go back underground.
Hide out in the sycamore for a
There
while.
you go, yeah.
Go back to the hole.
The tree, the tree's interesting because but it's not hiding a tree. It's a big goddamn tree.
Well, 26-foot diameter base.
That's ridiculous. It's funny because imagine a bunch of dudes hacking at a 26 diameter base tree.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Like, that's ridiculous. You're never gonna get
what are you
through
gonna
that.
do?
No, you can't. Like,
I mean, obviously it's hollowed out and died
if you're
dead.
Or if you're trying to like hit it to get it to come out,
Yeah,
but
trying to scare it.
if they're like, we're gonna make a side entrance, you're gonna be there for a long time.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so too.
Unless you get one of those cool two-man saws, and do one of them old-timey things there. But even then, you'll be there for days.
Oh my god.
So if this is some unknown creature, some species that has been living alongside us and predating on us for a millennia, I guess.
Sure, why not 1,000 years?
Yeah, man.
Just why not?
Dude,
yeah.
Pre-Jesus, the thing was there. Okay?
For a score of months, this thing has been feeding on the human race.
Yeah, but again, because of the area, because I think the various reports of other cryptids that are down there, and this place is notoriously
it's just stupid, filled
loaded
with monsters.
With stuff. I mean, if this thing is hanging out underground and just happens to pop in, pop out. No, I'm not talking like a Jeepers Creepers protocol. I'm talking like
where we go back to the thing that I always reference, like
yes,
the
where
cicadas or whatever,
yes.
where it's got like a 27-year
hibernation,
comes out, eats 3 things, breeds.
Yep.
Goes back into the cave.
If these things are just kind of like living underground, and I guess, man, Chris a while ago talked about me being all into underground shit. Maybe it's my new jam. Maybe I'm jumping from interdimensional and going underground.
Yeah, fucking dirty terrestrials.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
it's
whatever.
awesome.
I'm gonna go cryptozoological with this thing just being some weird monster. Also, too, kind of almost sort of reminiscent of the Cahokia dragon. Speaking of Adam Benedict. Being a big, large lizard.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like there's no denying. Like when you see this in your head, at least the way I see it, it is very reminiscent to me of especially Asiatic dragons, where they have the forelimbs and the rear limbs, a long tail, and then and like Manda, the character from Atragon and Destroy All Monsters in the Toho kaiju films. It's basically a long dragon-like snake that just happens to have 4 limbs.
Right.
And the almost impossible skill of being able to run bipedally.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely think that there's, I mean, maybe there's some sort of association. Maybe other creatures like this existed in the past, particularly in Asia, also in Europe, because a lot of times they were, again, depicted as serpentine creatures that happen to have wings and limbs. They would be snakes, especially the Asiatic dragon. They would definitely be snakes, save for the frills on the tail and the head and the 4 fucking limbs.
For sure.
So who knows if maybe there's some sort of ancestral memory that ties back to real creatures that for the most part don't show up for whatever fucking reason. But we know that this isn't really represented in the fossil record in any way.
Unfortunately, no. All the fun stuff's not in the fossil record.
Right.
It all somehow magically didn't make it.
But I am intrigued by a lot of elements of this. First off, the apparent good repute of a lot of the eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the whimsy
huge.
of a child or children. It's got the Reverend Horn and his buddies that saw it. plus the rest of the posse that showed up. So suddenly it goes from 2 kids,
right,
2 kids and 3 adults, maybe, and they're trying to look
True.
like heroes. They do technically save the boy's life.
Yeah.
So they are heroes. To from this 5, 65 fucking people.
Yeah.
And various dogs.
Don't forget the dog.
Who see this fucking thing.
I mean, this. You could also too skeptically look at this and say, look, okay, if this kind of got a bit hysterical on everybody,
sure,
where something happened, the boys had some run-in with some unknown creature or whatever, then all of a sudden this spiraled off into something that it completely wasn't,
right? Because
it is 1882 or whatever, and everyone's all freaking the fuck out and stoked to kill this lizard. Then that is a possibility.
Bear in mind too, I thought I had it in this article, but you know me, I was writing until the last second, emailed it out to you. I must have not included this clip, but it is definitely in the articles I've read, and in particular, again, Adam Benedict's article, the Cryptid file on the Crosswick Monster. This judge, like J.A. something, was like one of the most esteemed and oldest residents of that region.
Right.
He confirmed to the reporter from the Western Star that all of this was true, that he talked to the people involved.
Okay.
Maybe he was, I doubt it, but maybe he was one of the 60 that went up.
You got to bring a judge
posse
with you. You have to.
But he was confirming that, Doc Lucan really treated this dude. Reverend Horn, saved the kid, went back with a big group of people with all their farm implements and fucking, Frankenstein hunting bullshit. Excuse me, Frankenstein's monster hunting bullshit. Except for torches, apparently. So what has struck modern researchers, at least the ones that wrote articles that I used as a reference, is that the people involved seem to be very reputable, were able to be traced back, so they weren't just random names like E.I. Biffingham, who fucking nobody ever found any trace of in any birth records, like people that were part of church records and local significant people in the locality. These people came forward and were like, yeah, no, this shit happened, and it was scary, and we had to end it.
If this was a liar 1882 journalism, it would be kind of easy to be like, oh, yeah, there's this, huge lie made up, basically. Right. So, yeah, no, I get that. I definitely get that. So, all right, hysterical mob aside, they tried to kill a monster, and it escaped.
Here's the thing. It can't be anything local, obviously.
Right.
If this happened in Micronesia or Indonesia or anywhere in the South Pacific or Papua New Guinea, then you could be like, holy fuck, there's remote areas. This sort of thing is vaguely possible to exist, though it's just prohibitively large. You can almost be like, okay, cryptid. But in Ohio, this makes no sense. This makes no fucking sense. I'm not an expert, again, on reptilian or amphibian pigmentation, but the black and white pattern with, dusky yellow spots, that seems fairly unique. But I'm sure there might even be a herpetologist out there listening going, oh, fuckface, there's clearly this kind of lizard. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm a fuckface. Please tell me.
They will definitely send an email or DM being like, well, actually, Rob.
Right. And I'm okay with that. But then I want you to tell me how many of them rear up to 12 to 14 feet, have a tail that is an additional fucking 20-something feet long. And they migrate, live in Ohio.
They migrate to Ohio. Yeah, they go all the way from Micronesia to Ohio. There you go.
So the problem is, this fits so neatly into the cryptid bin. I want it there. I love cryptids.
No, I'm there.
But it really fucking doesn't. Because there's no continual reputation for these things.
Okay.
Things don't just one and done. No matter what,
we got a lot of them though.
Oh no, but they're weird ass aliens or paranormal events or some Casablanca bullshit or El Zeta anomalies. These are the one and doneers.
Okay.
Cryptids, generally speaking, have a stalking ground. Whether it's the Loveland Frogman that we're only seen a handful of times, or Honey Island Swamp Monster. You can go on Skunk Ape.
Right.
If something is a cryptid, it usually occupies a territory. It seems to have a niche environmentally and it does its thing over a prolonged period of time in whatever, ecological hole it's living in. This thing has never been seen before, never been seen since. No one has ever described anything like this. It's reported by a lot of reputable people, allegedly. A kid really got fucked up, though I don't know if he was mostly going to die from panic and seizures or if the injuries themselves were that bad. That's a little iffy. So I can't help but say, as much as I want to put this in the crypto corner, my beloved crypto corner.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I don't honestly know. Because, again, Ohio is a place, as we well know, of high strangeness, of super weirdness. And maybe this is something that is from another plane. Again, the thinning of the veil again. Get out your umbrella, buddy. It's going to rain. Or maybe, even though I just said earlier, it's probably not an alien. No one saw a UFO. It's idiotic. But it's more likely to be an alien than an actual animal that should be found in that area. Because what the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it from?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's Naga-esque, again, but that would take you to Southeast Asia.
Right.
Or India. I mean, but that's not. Yeah. Unless it's a belief system, unless somebody was like of a magical inclination from that area.
Summoned this thing?
I don't know. What I do know is that during the 1880s, Crosswicks, the tiny little podunk dirt trail town of was almost exclusively African American. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that allowed for all sorts of terrible marginalization. And I'm not saying that somebody came, who immigrates to America from Africa intentionally in the 1800s. They brought something, but if it is a belief system, if it is something metaphysical, maybe it could be something that is created or manifested or brought into this reality through means that are not, strictly speaking, scientific. I'm not saying someone smuggled an egg with them.
Right. It's not like a mogwai or something
exactly.
like that.
Though God knows we all wish.
This could be maybe, like you said, something that brought forth from realms unknown. Oh, I do like that idea, though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, realms unknown are always fun.
Fucking manifest this motherfucker. But then you're like, oh shit, it's killing everybody.
It's
like, dude.
No, it's a nightmare.
It's like a Rawhead Rex Pumpkinhead situation.
Oh my God, I just watched that movie last night, Rawhead Rex.
Did you really?
Oh, I had to revisit. I haven't revisited it in so long.
Dude,
it's garbage, but I love it.
There is a 4K version, Blu-ray version out there. Yes,
I watched a VHS version last night.
Oh God, it's so bad.
It is, but it's the only way.
Oh, I love Rawhead Rex. As a kid, it just hit the spot, and I'm just like, this makes no sense, but I don't care.
It's unabashedly delivering the goods.
Totally.
It's a fucking ancient mythical monster that comes back and does not fuck around.
And then it pisses on a priest.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that part.
It's sacrilegious.
Yeah, I remember watching it being like, I don't think Mom's going to let me watch this again.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is not...
It's holy water, Mom.
This is not appropriate for HBO. There you go. Yeah, no, but I do like that idea. I think that's... I was leaning kind of cryptid, but now you got me thinking...
Well, it's an animal in every way.
It could be something,
on the surface,
dude.
You're like, it has to be. But where'd it come from? Canada? Fucking the Caribbean?
Canada!
I mean, where the fuck could this thing isn't around anywhere.
We should ask our Canadian friends, like, y'all got these things up there you're not telling us about? The fuck?
But you know what it also makes me think of? Let's dip down to Indiana with the old green-clawed beast.
See?
No one ever saw what it looked like.
No.
They did see, or they did feel and saw a print of a hand.
There's been a lot of one-and-dones in this area, though.
Oh, tons.
It is a ton of them. So... Dude, I don't want to go back to the old corpse deposits, and I won't, but I will. You never know. You never know, man. Something getting summoned out of the... Dude, realms unknown.
Dude, go deep. Go deep.
We're there.
It's our one time without Chris.
We literally...
We'll take our beating later.
I do like where you're going with that. That is pretty dope. But yeah, man, there you have it. The Crosswick Monster. And as we mentioned too, this was brought to us by Mr. Adam Benedict from the Pine Barrens Institute.
Fucking A right.
The description of this podcast will have the link for his website and his books. Be sure to check that out. And and hopefully soon, actually, we can get in touch with Adam and have him back on the show because he is super fun to talk to.
Oh, absolutely.
He's great. Actually, I follow him on Twitter. I love him on Twitter. He's got some of the best Twitter shit out there. Yeah. It's so great because every time, I just want to, Bigfoot's coming interdimensionally for you, buddy. Just to see the sneer, just the hatred in his eyes towards me.
No, we definitely
I love it.
We are simpatico on that.
Oh, dude, I love it. Adam's the best. So be sure to check that out.
Can you imagine what he feels about this? He has a proper, legitimate cryptid.
And then we ruin it.
And
you of all people.
His ally on all things cryptozoological is I don't know, it feels like magic.
Did you
It's Poke magic.
Oh, it's a Pokemon, dude.
It's Pokemon Go 1882 version.
You sold Adam out, dude.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, man.
it's not an animal.
All right.
Well, it's an animal. And it's trying to eat a kid, I think. Well, it's biting him and dragging him into its fucking den. So it's storing him for food, I assume, like squirrels with nuts.
But storing kids.
Luckily, though, fucking people came and intervened.
Yeah, all right.
And then it got away to eat more kids. But, I mean, if it's a fucking animal, why hasn't anyone ever reported it ever again?
Yeah, well, therein lies the mystery.
Or a crashed alien.
Oh, or an alien.
And it just needs to throw some food in the UFO, some snacks to get it back to the fucking Cygnus 6 or whatever the fuck is out there. Space.
Nice. There you have it. Thank you all so very much for joining us, the Cryptonaut podcast. Oh, the social medias, we're there, we're doing it, we're hanging out. Thank you all for the DMs. Keep those coming.
Hell yeah.
We are available. We have a Facebook fan group on Facebook. You can go there and check that out.
Awesome motherfuckers.
Yeah,
honestly,
be sure to do that.
The best thing probably on Facebook.
Hellerspace.com. Get yourself some T-shirts and some other accoutrement all happening over there. Patreon. We offer Patreon. We got the $1 and the $5 tier. $1 gets you 1 bonus audio. $5 gets you 4 bonus audios.
Or 7.
Or 10. You never know. Tied to that, of course, is the Discord. As mentioned at the beginning of this episode, Rob and I were hanging out with the good Discord folks watching Friday the 13th Part 1 for the movie night. It was super fun.
And then we had a fun Q&A bullshit session for about an hour after.
We talked to the good folks. Had a little Q&A. We got asked about the Predator versus the Mandalorian.
Oh,
we were all on different pages with that. I think I'm the only one that was pro Predator, but whatever. That's just me. My pro Predator stance.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Totally. But
See, this is the kind of shit that happens when you're on Discord.
Yeah, it's super fun. So jump on there and be sure to check that out. And yeah, there you have it. Thank you all so very much. Christopher will be back with us next week. He is currently editing this, definitely throwing daggers at us for sure. So that's cool. But when Chris is away, the Rob and Mark will play.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
the veil will obey.
When Chris is away, the veil will obey. Oh no, he definitely just rolled his eyes super hard.
Oh my god.
He's so mad. That's awesome. Thank you all so very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Be well and be wary. Careful of the sycamore, boys and girls.
Careful of the sycamore. Yeah. Especially a big one like that with a giant lizard in it. Not good. Not good at all.
Or amphibian. Lizards aren't slimy.
All right. Well,
or armor-plated. I mean, some are, but so are armadillos.
You know what I say?
Maybe it was a mammal.
Hit it with fire.
Hit it with fire.
Hit it with fire.
That's the one thing they missed.
There you go.
You bring torches to the hollowed-out sycamore.
Of it, and you just set the bastard on fire.
Yep.
There it is.
Science.
We're awful people.
Science be magic.
There it is. Dude, time versus fire.
Burn the baby killer.
Yeah, they do it.
Jesus Christ, that's not a challenge.
No, not at all. We talking to you.
Goodbye.